An American tourist climbed one of Europe's most active volcanoes while it was actively erupting and survived that part completely fine. What killed him was something that had nothing to do with the lava at all. A 29-year-old man from Kansas was struck by lightning while hiking Mount Etna in Sicily on Sunday evening and later died in hospital. Here's the part almost nobody's talking about. Italian officials say more people have died on Etna from lightning strikes over the past several decades then from the volcano's actual eruptions. The last eruption-related death on this mountain was in 1987. No guessing, no dramatizing, just the facts, the science, and the real stakes. Let's get into it. The incident struck on an exposed slope. Sunday evening, the 29-year-old tourist was hiking in the Rocca Capra area of Mount Etna at an elevation of roughly 1,400 meters when he was struck by lightning in an exposed, barren stretch of the mountain with little to no natural shelter. Italian firefighters and mountain rescue teams responded and reached him by helicopter. He was found in cardiac arrest, airlifted to Canizzaro Hospital in Catania, and despite efforts to revive him, was declared dead later that evening. Authorities have not released his name publicly. Italian officials noted that it remains unclear whether he was hiking in one of the specific zones that had already been closed to visitors due to Etna's ongoing volcanic activity, a detail that's still part of the broader picture of how dangerous conditions on the mountain have become this month, separate entirely from the lightning strike itself. This tragedy landed directly in the middle of a story this channel has already been covering. Mount Etna, Europe's tallest and most active volcano, has been in a prolonged eruptive phase for more than a week, with lava flows descending its slopes and ash emissions repeatedly shutting down nearby Catania Airport, one of Sicily's busiest, during the peak of Italy's summer travel season. Etna draws roughly 1.5 million visitors a year, eruption or no eruption, and authorities have restricted access to specific high-risk zones on the upper slopes because of the current activity. But this particular tragedy is a reminder that the volcano's most visible hazard, lava and ash, isn't necessarily the one that actually claims lives on the mountain. Italy's Civil Protection Agency has been explicit about this exact risk. As hikers ascend Etna, they move from sea level conditions to genuine high mountain conditions within just a handful of kilometers. A transition so rapid that it produces sudden, dramatic shifts in weather. Warm, humid air moving in from the sea can collide with cold air masses higher up the mountain in a very short distance, generating fast-forming thunderstorms with little warning for anyone already out on an exposed slope. That combination, a huge, treeless, exposed volcanic landscape with almost no natural shelter, sudden storm formation, and large numbers of tourists actively trying to get closer to an ongoing eruption for dramatic photos and views, creates conditions that are genuinely more statistically dangerous than the eruption tourists are actually there to see. Officials pointed out that Sunday's fatality was one of 2 fatal lightning strikes reported across Italy that same day, underlining that this wasn't some freak, isolated event, but a real, active weather hazard across the region at the time. Drop a comment and tell me, did you know more people have died from lightning on Etna than from the volcano itself? If you want more, fact-check breakdowns of disasters as they unfold. Subscribe to the channel, it's free, and hitting like genuinely helps this reach more people. Let's push for 5,000 likes on this one. It sounds counterintuitive on its face. An actively erupting volcano, and the danger that kills a visitor isn't lava, ash, or toxic gas, it's weather. But the physics behind it actually makes sense once you break down what's happening on a mountain like Etna. Lava flows on Etna are generally slow-moving, and, outside of the immediate eruption zones that authorities already restrict, largely predictable and avoidable for anyone following official access rules. Ash and gas hazards are also relatively well understood and monitored, which is exactly why Catania Airport can be shut down proactively before ash actually causes a problem for aircraft. Lightning, by contrast, is fast, extremely localized, and can form with very little advance warning in mountain terrain, where warm sea air and cooler high-altitude air are constantly interacting. Add an exposed, barren landscape with no trees or structures to provide shelter, and you have one of the more statistically dangerous combinations for lightning strikes anywhere in Europe, entirely independent of whether the volcano beneath the hiker's feet happens to be erupting or dormant at the time. Italian mountain rescue and civil protection authorities are expected to continue reviewing access restrictions on Etna's upper slopes, both in light of the ongoing volcanic activity and this latest fatality. Catania Airport and Etna's tourism operators remain focused on managing the eruption's ongoing disruption to travel, even as this incident adds a separate weather-related safety warning to the mountain's current risk profile. Officials have not indicated any plans to close Etna to tourism entirely, since eruption-adjacent tourism remains a major part of the local economy, but renewed warnings about lightning risk and mandatory guided access are likely in the near term. There's something genuinely disorienting about a story where the volcano isn't the villain. Etna has been erupting for more than a week, throwing lava and ash into the headlines, and it still wasn't what killed the person climbing it. Sometimes the most dangerous part of a natural disaster isn't the dramatic, obvious hazard everyone came to see. It's the ordinary, easily overlooked one that happens to be waiting on the same exposed slope. Subscribe so you don't miss the next update on this story. Leave that comment below. Did you know more people have died from lightning on Etna than from the volcano itself? 5,000 likes on this one. Let's go. See you in the next one.